Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Mono back again with some video game news. I've been kind of slacking on that front, so I decided to go ahead and put out a video real quick. Obviously, there's been a lot of video game news as of late. God of War, the gig size was just released and announced for PlayStation 4, so I will add in that caveat. It is the PlayStation 4 version. It's expected to be a little bit smaller on the PlayStation 5, simply because the PlayStation 5 can compress data a lot better than the 4 can. We also got some more news from EA Motive, the studio behind Dead Space, is now making a Iron Man video game. So obviously, if you play Dead Space 2 and 3, you got to play as Isaac in a suit flying around. So we know that they can do it. Now we'll have to see if they can actually refine it, and I will read that entire article out. Everything will be from IGN, because that is a website that I predominantly use a lot these days. So let's go ahead and get into that. It says EA Motive, the studio behind the upcoming Dead Space remake, has announced that it is developing an Iron Man game. In a new tweet from Motive's Twitter account, the Montreal-based EA studio revealed that it is collaborating with Marvel Games on an all-new single-player action-adventure Iron Man game. The project is said to still be in early development. And so that's pretty much the only bit of news from it, is that initial article. Again, we are waiting for more details to come out and play out. Not EA, but in more Battlefield and Call of Duty drama, because there's the potentiality again of Call of Duty going exclusive to Xbox. EA CEO thinks Call of Duty being exclusive to Xbox could benefit Battlefield. It reads, Electronic Arts CEO Andrew Wilson thinks that Call of Duty potentially becoming a exclusive franchise could benefit Battlefield, as reported by Axios. Stephen Totilo. Wilson called questions about Call of Duty's platform a tremendous opportunity. In a world where there are questions as to the future of Call of Duty and what platforms that it might be on and might not be on, being platform agnostic and completely cross-platform with Battlefield, I think it is a tremendous opportunity. Wilson said at a Goldman Sachs conference last week, quote, I don't think we had delivered in the last two iterations of that and then the way that we should have. EA CEO Andrew Wilson on Battlefield from a Goldman Sachs conference last week. Full quote below. Also, Wilson doesn't seem to mind COD Xbox exclusivity confusion. Could help EA. So, obviously it continues on, and it says what Wilson is referring to here could be several things. As a multi-platform franchise, Battlefield has the advantage of having a large player across PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. I believe it should have said a large player base, but it just says a large player. If the Battlefield franchise was exclusive to a single platform or ecosystem, then that would negatively impact the number of players that have access to the game. He could also be talking about potential marketing deals. While Microsoft has the lion's share of Call of Duty marketing deals and exclusive timed content during the Xbox 360 era, the situation flipped, and now Sony works closely with the franchise on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. This year's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 has plenty of exclusive bonuses for PlayStation owners, including first access to the game's beta and an operator named Hiro Oni Watanabe. If the Call of Duty franchise was to become exclusive to Microsoft platforms, then it makes sense that Sony would have to approach the second biggest first-person shooter franchise, Battlefield. This could provide EA with substantial leverage to negotiate marketing deals with PlayStation. It's worth noting that Microsoft has had marketing deals for Battlefield franchise in the past too, including Battlefield 4. Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard is still in the process of being approved and is being scrutinized by some regulators, such as in the UK, due to competition concerns and potentially marketing franchises like Call of Duty exclusive, and potentially making not marketing, my fault, and potentially making franchises like Call of Duty exclusive. PlayStation and CEO Jim Ryan are well aware of these implications and have called Microsoft's offer to extend Call of Duty's availability on PlayStation by only 3 years inadequate. So there's that continued drama. I've again said, I look at someone like a Nintendo who has multiple studios that work on multiple games. So you have the Zelda team, you have the Mario team, you have the Splatoon team, the Pikmin 4 team, you have Retro Studios working on Metroid Prime 4. All of these are Nintendo published games by Nintendo Studios. So I'm still kind of at a loss that Guerrilla Games isn't making a Killzone. Like what are these studios doing on these other platforms that they're like working on one game and they can't get anything else out? It's like, I don't know how Nintendo, and I failed to mention Pokemon. Like, Nintendo has a bunch of studios working on their games, but these other publishers only have one studio doing one thing for multiple of years, and they're not getting games out back to back to back like Nintendo can. So it's just kind of weird to me that we're in this kind of limbo in the game, on the gaming side, because I know Naughty Dog is doing factions for The Last of Us, but they're also working on a potential new Uncharted game featuring Drake's daughter. They have other games in development as well, so I know that they're not just being lazy. I'm not trying to accuse them of being lazy, but like, what are these other game studios doing that development is taking such a long time to go ahead and wrap itself up, And then for the last news spot, we have Fire Emblem Engage is set to release exclusively for Nintendo Switch on January 20th. It will be available in a standard edition as well as Divine Edition or Collector's Edition. It's available to pre-order right now at a handful of retailers. See it at Best Buy. Read on to find out what Fire Emblem Engage is and where you can pre-order and what comes in each edition. So Fire Emblem Engage is something that we talked about on our live stream, on the live channel on Man Cave Archive. And it's coming out in, obviously it just said in January. There is and I'm excited for it. I've played the last few of the games in the franchise, or all of them that have come to the States. I've played them all. I'm still someone who wants to see a new Star Fox game. So even though I just complimented Nintendo on how many games they have in development, I'm still kind of greedy and I want more. So I definitely want that Star Fox game, and I do want them to finally port over Earthbound 3. Give it to us, guys. I misspoke. Not every news source will be coming from IGN. This one is at Glitch. You can also find it at Game Rant. This particular article is about God of War, though, and the file size. So it says the PlayStation file size, the PS4 file size for Santa Monica Studios' upcoming action-adventure game, God of War Ragnarok, has seemingly leaked, according to a reliable Twitter account, PlayStation Game Size, stating that the game's download page on PS4 updated yesterday to confirm a file size of 90.6 gigabytes for the anticipated PlayStation exclusive. If this proves to be true, the 90.6 is quite a hefty file size for God of War Ragnarok. Then again, most modern games, especially AAA titles, have massive file size attached to them. This is also taking into account that the game might receive a Day 1 patch, which could bump that size up a bit more. God of War Ragnarok received a new trailer at PlayStation's State of Play event, showcasing the huge locations, events, characters, and encounters across the game's epic story. If we're also traveling to more Norse realms this time, then it's safe to assume that Ragnarok will be substantially larger than its 2018 predecessor, both in scope as well as file size. PlayStation official description of God of War Ragnarok. I'm not going to read that. In related news, Ragnarok will feature over 60 accessibility options. It will also receive a themed limited edition DualSense controller. So yeah, it's going to be a big game. We know that the first God of War 4, not first God of War 4, God of War, aka God of War 4, was 40 gigabytes. And so this game, 45 gigabytes. So this game has doubled the size. That game, the first playthrough, I think I did about 22 hours or 23 hours in that first playthrough. Again, I know I mentioned this on the live channel, but Dave Jaffe, the original creator of the God of War series, said that his sources, obviously he used to work at Sony, so I'm pretty sure he has very reliable sources. His sources say that the game is going to be 40 hours long. So definitely cool to see it scaled up. Cannot wait to play that game. But yeah, that'll do it for this update and this upload. I'll be before you guys again in the near future as more video game news comes out. I'm trying to do my best to be way more consistent these days. So yeah, this video hopefully is going to be out. I'll get some time to edit it and upload it tonight. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.